Gots to go. It gots to go. I don't know about you guys, but for me, one of the most important things is my peace of mind. And I feel like we don't really talk much about personal peace of mind. In general, we only talk about it in a bigger scale. And when I say peace of mind, I don't necessarily mean not having anything to worry about, because as we all know, as long as you're a human being, you will have something to worry about. And we all in our personal lives have things to worry about, things to take care of, problems and all that kind of stuff. But this is like a little chit chat and kind of random, but I feel like these are the things that I've acknowledged in my life, I've ingrained in my head, that brings me peace of mind or maintains it. I'm just gonna share it with you guys, and maybe it helps you to generate peace of mind or maintain it, because we're all suffering. And if you have anything else apart from what I said that gives you peace of mind, please leave it in the comments. But here we go. The first thing that really brings me peace of mind, I believe, is understanding that I can't please everybody. Coming from an OG back people pleaser, I used to really strive to please people, especially the people that were closest to me, like my family, my friends, the friends that I had. Even if I had to overextend myself and do things that genuinely didn't give me happiness, and I was just doing it to please people, I would do it. And changing that mindset and feeling like I don't really need to please everybody. And even if I do overextend myself and do things that I feel like will make people happy or make people like me,
sometimes they're not really gonna appreciate it. And
especially when you overextend yourself and please people all the time, it comes to a point where it becomes normal for them. So even if you're doing things that you feel like you're overextending yourself or doing too much for them, they don't really see it, because now it's normal that you overextend yourself and do things that don't really even bring you happiness yourself. So understanding that I can't please anybody, and I don't have to, was something that really brought me a peace of mind as well. The second thing that I think brought me peace of mind is to have boundaries. That also kind of ties into the first point, because when you have boundaries, you don't, how do I say it? If you have boundaries, you don't allow every and anything. There is a stop point for things that you allow and things that you don't allow. When you have checkpoints and stop points for things that you allow or things that things that you allow, people that you are allowing in your life, because believe it or not, I feel like people's energy have impact on our lives. Some people just naturally, unfortunately, have very negative energy. They don't produce anything positive, they don't add anything positive to your life, and it really spoils your mojo, draws out, and is draining. And it's so hard to have a peace of mind if people around you are always negative and they influence you to do things that don't really bring peace. So having boundaries is also something that I'm learning. It's so hard as an African, because Africans, we do not have boundaries. It's so hard for us to have boundaries, and we just don't have boundaries. For example, how our parents would let us go to toxic family members' houses knowing they're toxic, and they were like, don't eat there. What about having a boundary of not even going there in the first place? That is the first step. I feel like it should be, but there's lack of boundaries, and it really disturbs your peace of mind as you grow up. But moving away from letting everything and anything pass you by, or welcoming anything, any energy, really disturbs your peace of mind, because it's not even like a thing that they say or do. It's just like the energy really affects you negatively. Next thing I feel like brings me peace of mind is being grateful and content for what I have. Sometimes it's easier to be grateful. Of course, you see good things happening in your life, but sometimes too it's very, very hard, especially when we get accustomed to all the things that we have. It's like, oh, these are normal things that I have, so I don't really have to be grateful for them. But being intentional about gratitude really, really brings me a peace of mind. I can't lie to you guys. Like, it brings me so much peace. Writing down the little things that I'm happy for, being able to go to classes, being able to breathe, talk, being able to have a platform with YouTube with these all wonderful people of you, just being able to grow. These little things, being grateful for them brings you a peace of mind. It just calms you down from the stress and anxiety, the big things that are always weighing down on our shoulders. It definitely helps. Being content, being grateful for just the little things. It doesn't have to be something grand. I know these are all things that are like, oh yeah, I know this, I know that. It's a no-brainer. But sometimes we just have to be reminded of it. That's why I'm actually making this video. I feel like this will be something that I can go watch myself and be reminded of, that actually brings me peace of mind. Because most often than not, when we fall into a routine and we get accustomed to the things that we do all the time, it's so hard to fall off and not even realize, oh, this is something that brought me a peace of mind, or thinking about this, or just having this mindset brings me a peace of mind. So definitely being grateful, being content definitely brings peace of mind. Next thing I feel like brings me a peace of mind is understanding that nothing is permanent, no situation is permanent, and eventually things change. I definitely believe in this. It might not be the same but I feel like, yeah, nothing is permanent in this world. I was going to say it's not the same for everybody, but most often than not, most things, most situations that we have to endure or are in, it's not permanent. Let's say, for example, I'm struggling to pass my classes, get tests done and everything. I know it's not going to be permanent. I'm not going to be in school the rest of my life till I die, knock on wood. But after 2 years, now I'm 2 years in, after 2 years I'm gonna be out of here, and I'm not gonna be here all my life. So actually understanding that no situation is really permanent. I've been in situations where I'll be like, oh, I feel caged and I feel like this is it for the rest of my life. But the more I grow up, the more I realize none of these things are permanent. Things are gonna change. Most things are temporary. Sometimes it's hard to wrap your head around it because you know how the future is uncertain and all that stuff, but still nothing is really permanent. Things are temporary, and the time you realize it is the time that you're just at peace, especially when it comes to having problems, or definitely having problems or worries or like anxiety. Knowing that, what I'm anxious about, it's not permanent, it's gonna change, it's temporary. Most often than not, it's gonna change for the better. And if you have problems, at some point I'm gonna get a solution, or it's gonna get better. So definitely understanding that not everything is permanent, and most situations that we find ourselves in are gonna change. And if we work hard on it or look for solutions, it's going to change for the better, not for the worse. In this social media world, it's so easy to fall into the trap of needing validation from people, but ultimately we don't need validation from anybody. If anything, the only person, I don't want to say person, but being that we need validation from is God, and that's it. We don't need validation from anybody else, and the more you understand it, the more peace of mind that you get. And the other thing that I feel like brings me a peace of mind is not expecting anything from anybody. It took a lot of time for me to get here, but I expect nothing from anybody. I feel like my life is my responsibility. Everything that I have to do or want to do or think about is my responsibility, my choice. And if you put that on you, you steer away from expecting things from people, because believe it or not, people will disappoint you, intentionally or unintentionally. We all have a lot to do, a lot to think about, and in this inflation era and just a lot of things happening era, it's so hard to be there for people and do things that maybe friends would do. But ultimately, if you don't expect anything from people and just not necessarily hope, but I don't know how to say it, but all in all, just not expecting anything from anybody is one of the great ways to have peace of mind, because it stinks. If I say it stinks to have expectation of someone, and when they disappoint you, and you just don't have a say in it. They was disappointing you, they disappointed you, and that's it. You can't really have a say in it, in that. But not expecting anything really brings me peace of mind. Yeah, it brings me a lot of peace of mind. Because ultimately, when you don't expect things from people, you tend to rely on your own self. It also ties in relying on people. You rely on your own self to do the things that you need to get done, and there's no trustworthy person than yourself. Nobody is gonna be able to do as much as you can do for yourself, except God. But yeah, definitely. And it also comes to this point, comparing yourself to others. That also really steals your peace of mind. It snatches it away. Comparison is the thief of joy wasn't a lie. When Beyonce said, "Don't look at what people are doing, just do it," she wasn't lying. She wasn't lying, because just don't look at what people are doing, unless maybe you're getting inspiration from it. But if you're looking at it, just compare yourself, bring yourself down. Oh, they are doing this, they are doing that. It won't bring any benefit to you. Technically, especially for me, and in my opinion, comparing myself to people has never done anything good for me, and I don't feel like it will ever do so. Why should I continue doing that? I know some people aren't about peace of mind, or their actions shows they're all about chaos and fights and all that stuff. I don't know if that's okay, but for me, my peace of mind is so critical to me. So anything that really stirs me away from it or doesn't give me that peace of mind, it got to go. And now that I'm growing up, now I can make those decisions. So definitely. But last and the most important, I saved the best for the last. If you're a Christian and you believe in God, Jesus is the only Prince of Peace. He's the only one that can really bring you internal permanent peace. Because as easy as I'm saying this, it's so hard. It takes years, it takes time to actually get accustomed to it. I say it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort and intentionality to practice these things and to maintain your peace. But ultimately, if you believe in God and believe in Jesus, He's the only one that can actually bring internal peace. So leaning on God and listening to worship music, anything that really brings you closer to God, is also another way to maintain your peace have a peace of mind. Definitely. But if you enjoyed this chit chat, let me know if you want me to talk about any other topic. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in my next one. Bye. Don't forget to like and subscribe.